Digestive Advantage have 2 ways to support your digestive health. New Digestive Advantage.
Connected to icon.
I want something to drink, but I don't know exactly what I want to drink. I'm feeling kind of thirsty. I wish I had some fucking Angry Orchard. I think I drank all my shit.
Purchase your tracks today.
I drink Puff. What's up? Young, what up? Yeah, I drank all my beers, so I stole one of my girls' Seagram's Escapes. So this is the first layer of paint. I just finished one a little while ago, underpainting for a project I'm working on. I sure it ain't gonna be fire.
Does your bank make you jump through hoops? Experience easy with Genesis Credit Union. Quick auto loan. Personal, credit cards, and more. Experience easy at Genesis Credit Union.
I should have had one of them Jamaican Me Happy Jones. Those shits are tasty. This stream is brought to you by Seagrams. Grab my weed, then grab my grinder. Next, then I grab my lighter. Grab my weed, then grab my lighter. Next, then I grab my lighter. Grab my weed, and grab my grinder. Next, then I grab my lighter. Grab my weed, and grab my grinder. Next, then I grab my lighter. Yeah, smoking on that bowl pack. Damn, you know I got that swole back. Yeah, and you know I go way back. Yeah. Oh my God. This shit is... Can't smoke out of that. I need to clean all my shit out, man. My whole joint is all fucking caked up. That's bad maintenance. Bad maintenance. Grab my weed and grab my grinder. Then what's next? I grab my lighter. Can't go around for a minute, that's the trouble. Oh, that's some good shit. Oh, shit. Goddamn, had a softball game out there tonight. do that. Oh, I went back to the beat. I pressed the wrong shit. My bad. Just picking up the phone, just changing shit. Boozy, what it doozy. I use the music. My man don't make me prove it. Gotta kill the animal, the beast inside, and then you gotta soothe it. Yeah, cause I use the music. Don't make me prove it. And the beat so soothing. Man, it's so therapeutic. Yo, my mind can't compute it. I'm still looking for the change. Yeah, I'm still living in the rain. Yeah, until I get my fucking range. Yeah, cause my name is Prince, I'm a reign. Always supreme. Yeah, you know I got that steam, man. We vibing on that shit, and I still smoke, still choking every day. Everybody stay open, yeah. And I do it like a whistle, but you understand, no focus. Yo. Oh, man. So my mind is... Yeah, I keep telling everybody this shit too, man. Impulse. It's a YouTube original. Yo, check that shit out. Impulse. It's a fucking good ass show. I'm digging that shit, yo. I've been watching that shit earlier today. Alright, so I'm gonna have to drop this canvas down. And I'm gonna start with her hair. Wrong photograph.
Ooh, shit, motherfucker.
Well, that didn't take long. Yeah, you know. Okay. Finally get to use some turquoise. I don't get to paint turquoise a lot. I love that color. But it's not a common color everybody wear every day, you know what I'm saying? You don't see that shit in nature a lot either, like turquoise. I even like saying turquoise. It's a pretty word. So oh yes. This is going to be a challenge, which is precisely why I decided to paint this one, because this will be a bit of a challenge. Oh my god, the fucking details. Holy shit. Alright, yeah, it should be fairly straightforward to start with. Just block some shit in, get some dark, some blacks, and block her hair in, But those shells, it's like everything she's wearing, you know. It's, I don't know. The little decorative piece on her head is like a couple of, like a dozen seashells on some links with ribbons, and then she has this cobalt blue braid head wrap that has gold accents on it, and just the fringe around her collar and the earrings. Oh my god, this shit is so many little intricate parts to her outfit. If I can pull this shit off, yo. Yeah, this is gonna be one of them pieces. I want $10,000. 10,000. Yo, let's see. Okie dokie. So this palette will be useless here in a second. Or will.
There's
no,
interesting
not really.
studies that show that people who are
Okay,
born
fine.
poor or born middle class rarely become.
This video is brought to you by catbase.com. Design your own custom snapbacks and hats.
Wow, dude. Damn. If I do this whole background black, yo, this shit is gonna eat up this whole fucking, with the remaining tube of this paint.
being in the studio, so many places feel like.
Forgotten. Forgotten.
And you don't have to work and slave. Let electricity do it for you. You can have.
I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. If you pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that's the blow made. And they haven't even begun to pull a knife out, much less try and heal the wound. They won't even admit the knife is there.
When you know what triggers your allergy symptoms, you know when to keep non-drowsy Claritin on hand. From Tree.
times during your life you will look at your reflection in the mirror and ask yourself, am I a fool? I'm not going through a life but I've experienced this closer to awakening.
This is a Dealers production. This is a Dealers production. This is a T-Lynch 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 production. This is a
Motherfucking legend. Motherfucking legend. Even if I die, living legend. Look at my reflection. Ain't no second guessing. Always be a legend. A motherfucking legend. Motherfucking legend. Used to whip a Lexus. I can die right now. Still a legend. Look at my reflection. Ain't no second guessing. Born to be a legend. A motherfucking legend. 1996. I beat a 187. 80 million sold. And I ain't checked the records. Checked a couple rappers. Told told him not to test me. Ask me who am I? Motherfucking legend. 50 bitches naked. Nike ain't my preference. Khaki with the chucks. Now look how they dress. Perfected my profession. Someone call the rep. Bury me alive. Living legend. Motherfucking legend. Motherfucking legend. Even if I die, living legend. Look at my reflection. Ain't no second guessing. Always be a legend. A motherfucking legend. Look, Nick Dog 6 ball don't matter to me. You new niggas look madder to me. Came up with the doc, been around the whole pot. Don't compare another rapper to me. When I came and kicked the buildings on, I swear I always knew I'd never be the same. Was born to be a motherfucking legend. I ain't never do it for no fucking fame. Motherfucking legend. You know what I'm reppin'? 20 million 20 years ago, cuz you was like 7. You ain't gotta like it, bitch, you gon' respect it. Look me in my eye, motherfucking legend. Motherfucking legend. Motherfucking legend. Even if I die, living legend. Look at my reflection. Ain't no second guessing. Always be a legend. A motherfucking legend. Motherfucking legend. Used to whip a Lexus. I can die right now. Still a legend. Look at my reflection. Ain't no second guessing. Born to be a legend. A motherfucking legend. Dresser. Look at my reflection. Motherfucking legend. Even when I die. Look at my reflection. Ain't no second guessing. 1996. I beat a 187. I love that song. 20 million 20 years ago, nigga, you was like 7. You a little nigga. Hey, what's up, guys?
Jamie, you were telling me about what was the rap concert where the girl got on stage and she was saying?
Yeah, the Kendrick Lamar concert, which, so I guess the song that happens a lot. You can see lots of videos of the crowd singing all the words, which has a lot of N-words in it.
Including white people in the crowd.
Correct, yeah, lots of white people. Mainly, yeah, so in
there's
the
videos
concert
of this?
Alabama, yeah, I'll pull one up as we talked about. So the concert in Alabama, the Hangout Fest,
right.
Boy grew up on stage, she was obviously drunk.
Uh-huh.
So, like, kind of almost set her up to do it. And as soon as she said it like 2 or 3 times, he stopped the whole thing.
Well, what did she say in reference to?
Just it's in the song.
So she sang the song?
Yeah, she was doing like karaoke.
Like a song lyric?
Yeah, I'll pull up.
And then he turned on her?
Like, no, that's not for you. That's only for me.
Wait.
Yeah.
That's mean.
Yeah,
That's setting her up.
I had a bit from 2009 from my Spike TV special. Look, here, woman gets on stage.
You ready? You ready? What's your name?
Delaney. Oh, she's
I never even heard of this. So Kendrick did right now. Yeah, that's. I saw it. Yeah, I know there's a fucking mosquito in here. I just saw this. That's why I closed my fucking window.
Claire, I got you.
Wow. She must be so nervous.
All got along, they probably got me down by the end of the song.
Are we playing this over YouTube or will we get pulled? Let's find out what happens. Oh! The crowd's already Oh, Jesus Christ. Wait.
Why did he do that?
That's terrible.
This is crazy. Everybody's they're doing this hands down.
Well, it's just really cool, bro. You have to work.
You gotta bleep one single word, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I do it?
Yeah, you did it.
I'm so sorry. Oh my god.
But they're your lyrics.
Tell them to get off. They're all up their thumbs down. Get off. You said the noise that he says that we love. You can't say the noise.
That's mostly it. I don't know if they
Come on, man. This is a
that's
sweet
mean.
live. We live in hilarious and preposterous times. I mean, that is so strange. That is his song.
That is kind of strange. Like, what?
It is his song.
She loves him.
She loves him. She's at his concert. He gave her the microphone, played the song. She's singing the song that he loves, that he wrote, the whole audience loves, and everybody's like, you did the wrong thing. You made the noise.
That's so...
Wow.
That was mean. She was so happy.
The whole crowd doing it, though. And this whole crowd looks mostly white.
Yeah.
They're all screaming it.
Okay.
Wow.
What in the fuck? So how's that work?
I know this is why I stay home.
Wait a minute. How does that work?
That's why I don't go to
If
concerts.
there's a lot of people there,
Yeah.
you can do it. You can do it if there's a bunch of people there.
If you
But you can't do it if you're by yourself.
No.
On stage by yourself, in front of those people, you can't do it. But if you're in with them, you can do it.
Yes. And that was mostly white. That was a lot of white there. In that,
Of course.
In that one.
White people are ridiculous.
They're so confused.
We're so confused.
I mean,
this is
you don't know the rules.
I was gonna say I did this Spike TV special in 2009.
Make the
and there's
noise.
do you remember that old commercial with the girl comes home and her dog starts talking to her and like, Lindsay, I really wish you wouldn't smoke pot. You'd have to see me smoke pot and it's my friend.
Right?
That thing?
Yeah.
I had this whole thing where I was like, first of all, whatever that chick's on, she's not on pot. Because if you were on pot, you'd be like, wait a minute, my fucking dog can talk?
Right.
Like, how long you been able to talk? Dude, I had you my whole fucking life. I've had you your whole life. This is the first shit you said?
Right.
You know, and then I went through this whole thing, and I called my dog faggot. And this guy, this was like in the beginning of political correctness, right? Because this is 2009. This is the gay guy said this to me. He goes, you can't say that word. That's our nigger.
What's up, man?
That's our word.
Right.
That's what he said.
Right.
He literally said, I go, wait a minute. What did you just say?
Yeah.
And he said it again. He said, it's our nigger. We're allowed to say it. You can't say it. I go, that's the gayest shit I've ever heard. And he started laughing. I go, that's so crazy. You can't, I go, I'm talking to a dog. I'm angry at a dog because I've had this dog my whole life. His first words out of his mouth, I tell you I love you every day.
Right.
And what do you say? You say, I wish you wouldn't smoke weed?
Yeah.
Hey, fuck you, stupid. I smoke weed and I go to work and I pay for your food, faggot. Like that was the joke. And he got like, I'm like, these rules are preposterous. Isn't it supposed to be about intent? Okay, isn't it supposed to be like, I'm supposed to be conveying how I feel, and the words are supposed to mirror my thoughts.
Right.
Like when you have magic words that you can't say, and in this case with the N-word, it's even crazier because it's like some people can say it, you can say it sometimes you can't say it.
Yeah. It's too heavy.
Well, black people can say it, white people can't, but white people can say it if they're in the crowd and they're yelling it out, but as long as there's an A on the end of it.
Yeah, right, exactly. The ER is what gets you in trouble.
Well, look, racism is disgusting. All racism.
Yeah.
Racism against Chinese people, racism against white people, racism against of course against black people, of course against everyone. Judging someone on something that they have no control over.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like you're born, whatever you're born, Irish, German, Italian, African, you're born. It's not you.
Yeah.
You're just who you are.
Yeah.
Right? So racism is disgusting. But is it racism when you have that girl on stage and she's singing that song that she loves that you sing? It's your song. Like, that's not really racism.
No.
So when she's singing along and everybody's, you racist, you fucking Nazi, like, what are we doing? Because this is, what we're doing here is, we've gone into some ridiculous zone where it's not doesn't make any sense because we know that's not her intent.
No, exactly.
Right.
It becomes an intellectual exercise.
Exactly.
It becomes like a word game. It's a little puzzle kind of thing that we're doing to trap this person. You think she's very innocent up there. They all know she's a little drunk. It's kind of like setting someone up to do something. Yeah, it's pretty gross.
It's just weird. But it's weird that it's so universal. Like that crowd, that was probably 20,000 people.
Yeah.
That was pretty. That was awkward. I don't know why you would even invite somebody, a white person, on the stage to rap your lyrics, bro.
Musician is the best way to learn, practice, and master the guitar. Just grab your acoustic or electric and play along. Use it.
Your book. Alien
Yo, what's up,
Worlds
Boston?
And the Fate of the Earth.
Yeah. All about it.
That's deep shit, man. Just the title alone, you're like, whoa.
Love aliens.
Everybody does, but what are your thoughts on actual aliens and whether or not they've ever visited here?
Yeah, it's interesting because, sort of two things. So, first of all,
we should tell everybody you have a background in science.
I do. I'm an astrophysicist at the University of Rochester. I run a research group that studies, like, stars and planets.
So you're not a crazy person I brought on here?
No. I'm a card-carrying scientist. I got my card and everything. I've been doing research on, astronomy, astrophysics for a long time. But I also do all this popular writing, like for NPR and New York Times. And the genesis of this book came, because I love science fiction. I've been reading science fiction since I was a kid. But also I do a lot of work on climate change. And so I do a lot of climate change denial. And what I realized was that, there's this way we talk about it that is, completely forgets about the fact that, we're probably not the first, And that led me to a whole bunch of research that eventually led to this book, including one paper that we did that showed that the odds that we're the only time it's ever happened, the only civilization in the entire history of the universe, the only way that could be true is if the odds per planet are 1 in 10 billion trillion. Right? That's pretty low, right? So, the odds of anything being 1 in 10 billion trillion is pretty freaking low. So, it's probably happened before. There's been other civilizations before.
I don't know where to go next. There's just so much detailing on this thing. I'm trying to work with the colors I have on my palette right now because I'm gonna have to get some reds and pink and magenta to do her fringe. But I think I can do some more with the colors I have on here.
There's all this energy flowing into it, and then there's all this work being done, to keep everything moving. And, there's no way not to have an impact. If you build a world-girdling civilization, which, that's what a civilization is, there's going to be impact. So the whole point of my doing this book was to start looking at ourselves as just one of, We're not alone. We're not the only time this has ever happened. Doesn't mean anybody's around now. That's a different question. But the idea that, it's never happened before, it meaning, civilization, what's happening around us, this machinery and everything, that, that just in the new world of what we understand about planets and shit, that is just, it's not tenable anymore. We gotta wake up.
The idea that some civilization has to be the first one. That's what the only way you could ever think that we're the only ones is that some civilization has to be the first one, even in a universe that's infinite.
Yeah,
It has to happen one time.
Right.
But the idea is, are the conditions ideal in a trillion different spots all over the infinite expanse of the universe?
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? So what we've learned, so, one of my trips right now is like, this is not your grandfather's SETI anymore, right? Our understanding, we went through this major revolution in our understanding of planets about 20 years ago. So you look back at the Greeks, right? You can see them arguing about whether any other stars had planets other than, the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back and forth. Some of the Greeks were like, yeah, it's definitely happening, and then like Aristotle was like, no, we're the only world in the whole universe, that has life. And then as time goes on, it kind of goes back and forth. And even at the turn of the 19th century, people thought planets were incredibly rare. They thought the only way you could get a planet was if two stars passed really close to each other, and they kind of like taffy pulled out stuff that would eventually form a planet. And the odds of those kinds of collisions are so small that people were like, you know what? There's just no planets. And no planets, no life, unless something really freaky is going on. But then 20 years ago, we discovered our first planet.
Isn't that crazy when you really think about it? That 20 years is such a short amount of time. 1998.
Yeah. And nobody knew before that. Like, nobody knew whether there were any planets, right? When I was starting in astronomy, people were like, well, we don't know whether there's going to be any other planets. And we went from, so the first one was actually 96, I think, 95, 96. From that to now, where we know that every freaking star in the sky has a planet. At least one. Pretty much everyone. The giant ones maybe not, but they're so rare that, pretty much every star you see in the sky has a family of planets around it.
That is so nuts. It's so nuts that this is such a new discovery.
Yeah.
I mean, when we think about what we know about the universe, we think that we've had a pretty good understanding of it for a long time.
Right.
But the fact that we didn't even know for sure that there are planets.
Right. In my own lifetime, people were teaching me when I was starting, like, we just don't know, maybe they're rare. And now we know for certain that they're everywhere. And the thing people have to realize is every one of those planets is a place. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's a place you could walk around. Some of them for sure are going to have oceans. There's going to be mountains. There's going to be rain falling. They're all freaking places, and they're all places where things can happen. Planets are basically like nature's way of taking sunlight and doing something interesting with it. So you have 10 billion trillion planets in the universe, right? And every one of them is an experiment that's being run. So, the idea that like we're the first time it's ever, now that we know that, right? Now that we've gone through that revolution and understand that planets are like dime a dozen. Planets, we're not only talking about planets here, we're talking about planets that are in the right place for life to form. So there's the idea of the habitable zone, right? So, Mercury sucks. You cannot, Mercury's so hot that there's no way anything's going to happen. And, planets that are far enough out, they're going to be so cold, they're so far away from their star that they're going to be so cold that, it's hard to get liquid water on the surface. So we define the habitable or Goldilocks zone as the place where you can pour water onto the surface and it'll sit there. It won't freeze and it won't sort of just evaporate away. So all these 10 billion trillion planets I'm talking about are all in the right place for life to form. And so like with that many numbers, that many experiments being run, like you got to be a psychotic pessimist to say that like this is the only time a civilization's ever happened.
Right. But there's still no evidence yet. Obviously, we didn't even know that there really absolutely were planets until 20 years ago.
Right.
But we don't know for sure that there's something else out there.
No, this is an argument by, I call it like an argument by exhaustion. If I gave you a bag of 10 billion trillion planets and you have to sort through all of them, right? The odds that you're never gonna find another one that built a civilization is pretty, now, like I said, you're really asking for really serious pessimism. But, we're just getting started with this game, right? Of looking for life. That's why I keep saying this is not your grandfather's SETI where you point, a radio telescope at a star and you kind of wait to see whether somebody's signaling. Who knows whether they're signaling? Who knows what they'd be using? Now what we can do, because we got all these planets to stare at, is, we're going to be able to like stare at them as they pass in front of their star and get the light that passes through their atmosphere. So we're going to who knows what we're going to find? We're not waiting for them to signal us anymore. Over the next, I swear to God, man, in the next 30 years, we're going to have data relevant to the question of life. Maybe not civilizations, that could happen too, but just life on other worlds, and we've never had that before. All the arguments for the entire history of humanity have just been two dudes yelling at each other, right? But in the next 30 years, because the stuff we're building, and now that we know there's planets, we're going to have real data to argue over it. So, man, it's like we're in a whole other ball game now.
I think the big fear for a lot of people is what happens when we find out for sure that there's something else out there.
Yeah.
If we really do find like some other Manhattan on some Goldilocks planet that's hovering some similarly sized star a billion light years away or whatever the hell it is, that's
Everybody
gonna be
knows
very...
you can't do that because fucking travel time for light. If we can, whatever planets we're looking at, it's however many fucking light years away is how old the image is. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at light that took fucking 14 years, 15 years, or some shit to get to your ass. Shit don't look the same no more. That's the only thing about staring at shit in space. Like, you're looking at a fucking old ass photograph of that shit.
Very, very strange.
It will be. It'll be a game changer, right? Because for religions, I mean, wow, what do you do if you find other intelligent creatures who are building civilizations?
You start making them pay taxes. That's what you do.
That's right.
Fucks.
You go get pissed off that they're not doing what you want them to do. You should be believing this one. So, but I think, for me, the thing is, like, it's about climate change, because what it means is, like, there's no way, well, from my perspective, that if you have a civilization, you push your planet. You can't stop it in some sense. If you build a civilization, it's gonna
well, the only way around it is if you have like a subsistence culture, indigenous Native American culture,
right?
Which it seems impossible, but it existed here 200 years ago, which is a blink of an eye.
Right. I know, it's amazing. It's only 200 years since like this, the ramp up. That the world population only crossed the billion mark in like 1850. I mean, it's not, there were so few of us on the planet for most of the time that even we've been around. Forget the planet's history. So, I think like there is, the discovery, if we were to get any evidence, and I think the way it's going to happen is going to be more by accident than by like signaling, like that. So, but if we had any evidence of another technological, if we had any evidence of just life, right? If we just find a biosphere, evidence that, and we can do that from a distance, right? Even if the star is, 30 light years away, if we see, as the light passes through the star's atmosphere for those few moments, if we see oxygen in the atmosphere, we'll be able to detect that. That's what we can do with telescopes. We can tell, like, you can see fingerprints of the different kinds of elements. If we see oxygen in that atmosphere, and methane, that pretty much says that there's a biosphere there, that there's life. Because you wouldn't get, oxygen would just like react away really fast if it wasn't for life. Like on Earth, if it wasn't for life, there'd be no oxygen in the atmosphere.
What are the possibilities of life that exists in a completely different environment than we expect? Like, I know that they found life at the bottom of the ocean in these volcanic vents and extreme heats, boiling water. They didn't expect to see this.
Yeah.
And this is fairly recent as well.
That is. The idea that the
all these pieces for a commission, if you wanted something this big, it would all depend on exactly what you want on the canvas this size. My own original art like this right here, these things go for $5,000 and better. So most of my larger pieces are at least $4,000 or $5,000. But I'll do a commission for you for a lot cheaper. Like I said, my commissions are always cheaper because I don't have to actually put any thought into it. Because somebody just handed me a photograph like, here, paint this. And I just wanted to get a good hour in. I think I'm gonna grab me something to eat one more time before I go to bed. I feel hungry. It's almost 10 o'clock. Shit. Yeah, let me get off. Yeah, this is gonna be a really good piece. Alright, appreciate everybody stopping in, man. I'll be back on in the morning. How much? My commissions start at $400, and my standard size canvas is 18 by 24 inch. If you wanna, you know, a commission painting for yourself. But if you're looking for a piece of my art, you can go to my my community Facebook page at Paintings by the Prince and go to the shop button, and I have a couple of pieces up there with some prices on it. But yeah, we were just talking about this piece right here is $5,500. That piece right there is $2,100. I think I have this one listed for about 51 or something like that. I think I got that piece listed at 35, and this piece right here is listed at 55 or 56 or something like that. And this piece right here will probably be in the high fives as well. There's her dress. Oh my God, her dress is so beautiful. But for all those details in that dress, her rings, the beads on her necklace, the rose, her earring, that piece right there, it's like there's so much detail in there. It's gonna be pretty, but it's just gonna take a long time for me to get it done. And so this piece probably come out again, you know, in the high fives, 5,800. Might ask for $6 grand for this shit, some shit like that. But we'll see. Yeah, so. Like I said, if you want a commission though, you can send me a message to any of my links right here, and we'll talk some prices and stuff. Peace.